Welcome back. So right now we don't have any routing. We can't go like slash customers. We just see the customers. If we do for a single customer, we might be able to say /2 to go to a specific customer. Still the same place, right? So the navigation of our routing is not working right now. No matter what we put up in the URL, will end on this page. Now we want to actually start adding and using a router, meaning that depending on what I put in the URL, I want to go to different pages. That makes it easier for us to navigate the pages, and it also makes it possible to navigate the pages, and I can actually send links to you, and you could go to a specific route to find a specific detailed user, right? So we're going to talk about routing and navigation this lesson. Now, I'm going to do another thing because I want to show you guys where all of this information is coming from. If you go on the fundamentals, Angular fundamentals right here, if you scroll down, there's something right here about, for instance, the HTTP client, and here's the routing that I'm going to use now. Next lesson or soon we're going to start working with the forms as well to make update and create possible. So let's just go to routing and navigation here. Notice there's a lot of great information right here that you can start reading. We're just going to start working with this because that's kind of the way I do it. So to start using the routing, we need to start using two things from our router package, and that's the routes module, router module, and the routes. So I'm just going to grab these two and put them inside my code. Inside the code, I'm going to import these two right here in the app module, right? So now we are ready to start using routing and routes. The next step we need to do when we scroll down is start configuring how should our routes actually be. And they have a pretty big example right here. We're just going to grab it all and we're going to cut it down to the only requirements we have for actually using our routing. So I'm going to grab all of this, and notice I'm putting it right after the imports outside the ng module. There we go. And let's just start by cleaning up a bit. I don't need something called the crisis center. That sounds strange. I don't need this guy down here for the page not found content. We'll get that back later. For now, I just want to put in, if the path is nothing, I want to go to the customers page. If the path is customers, so the list of customers, right? Then I want to present the customer list component, right? So I want to present a list of customers, and that's inside the customers list component. You know that. We made that earlier. And I want to, if you mouse over your tab, I wanted to write customer list as the title. There we go. What else do we have? If I want to hit a path that's called customer :ID, meaning that I can put in a customer, I'll show you this in a second. I want to actually go to the component called the customer detail component, right? So notice all I'm doing here is pretty much just mapping where I want to go depending on the different path. So now I've set up a set of routes that I can use using a list of routes that I'm getting right here. That's just a way to define a routes class, and that means that each route needs at least a path and a component, and sometimes maybe some data that I want to change, like I want to change the title depending on where I'm going, and a path match. You can also add that if you want to, and a redirect. If you want to say, if you're hitting nothing, redirect to the /customers. What does this actually mean? Well, we need to do one more thing and then we can try and use it. What we need to do is, you need to do two more things. What you need to do is, first we need to go down here into the imports, and we need to say we are going to start using now the router module that we just implemented. Router module, like this. And on that one we're going to say, this is just a root way of setting up for everything in our system. This is going to be the main routing setup we want to do, right? So we're going to say, this is how we route in our application. We can start fine-graining this, but for now we're just going to make this in one location, and that means that we're going to use all these routes here. We want to add those to our application now, and we do that by saying router module for route, and then we put in the app routes, and then we're done. And we put that inside the import statement inside the app module, right? So now actually the routes are almost set up. We need one more thing, and that is we need to go into our app component, and let's just go back to the guide, because if I scroll down here, you'll see the next step is you need to add this inside your for route. You need to add the app routes. Sweet. Scrolling further down, it says the last thing we need is the router outlet, or else we get exceptions. So we're grabbing the router outlet, and that needs to be put inside our root HTML file. And your root HTML file and mine is right now the app component HTML file. And right now it's only displaying a list of customers. We wanted to instead have kind of an access point to display whatever component we want depending on whatever route we're on, right? So that pretty much means that now, depending on your route, I'm going to pick a different component. And how do I know that? Well, if I pick /customers, I'm going to go in here into my path right here, /customers, then I'm going to present the customer list component. If I do /customers with an ID in the end, I'm going to show the customer details component. Let's see if it works. So let's try and go into our customer app now. If I write / with nothing in the end right here, notice it redirects me to /customers automatically. That's a good point. That's now routing works at least. If I do /customer /to, I'll actually end up on the customer detail page. Yay! It's working. There we go. So now we actually have routing available right here, and we can also write, of course, /customers, and we'll go to the customers page. Sweet. Let's work more with routing in the next lesson. Now it's set up, and again, go and watch the tutorial if you missed something right here. See you next time.